Today, Kevin McCarthy is trying to get everyone on the same page and not finding much luck. Behind closed doors, the House Speaker tried to explain why he made the decision unilaterally to move forward with an impeachment inquiry into President Biden. CNN chief congressional correspondent Manu Raju is on Capitol Hill. Manu, I have to say that, I covered those halls for many years, and the notion of hearing a member of the Speaker's own party, Matt Gaetz, do what he did on the House floor, saying that he was serving notice to Speaker McCarthy, that he was out of compliance and he needed to bring him into total compliance, was about the most brazen thing I think I've ever heard when it comes to the challenge to somebody's leadership.
Yeah, and look, there's just one of the many challenges that Speaker McCarthy faces this month. One, that leadership test that could happen at any moment. One member could call for a vote seeking his ouster. He would have to prevent more than 4 Republicans from voting to oust him, assuming all Democrats do so. That is one issue. Dealing with spending, avoiding a government shutdown, another major issue as well. That's something that Gaetz is warning could actually trigger that effort to push him out. And also impeachment. That is a question that members on both sides of the aisle have. How long will this investigation go? What will it actually produce? Will they actually vote to charge the president with high crimes or misdemeanors, even though a number of members are skeptical? Today, I asked Kevin McCarthy about his decision not to hold a floor vote to open up an inquiry, even though he said clearly just 12 days ago that he would, in fact, hold a floor vote. But the votes were not there. Ultimately decided to order this on his own, even as some members are concerned about the politics as well.
Help Democrats. I mean, I haven't seen anybody do too well after an impeachment process. It didn't do well for us in '98 with President Clinton. I don't see it as good politics. I do, though, think there's enough stuff here that it deserves to be looked at.
I'm just about your words. Why did you change your words?
Okay, well, let me answer your question, because I've answered it every single day, and you could answer me every single day. Nancy Pelosi changed the president of this House.
But that was
this doesn't preclude from a... Nancy Pelosi changed the president of this House on September 24th. It was withheld and good enough for every single Democrat here. It was good enough for the judge. Why would it have to be different today?
McCarthy not explaining there, despite my efforts to try to get him to explain why he changed his position from saying there would be absolutely be a vote to ordering this investigation to happen. Pelosi, if you recall, in that first impeachment, an inquiry did occur for Donald Trump, and then the vote occurred about a month into that inquiry. But in the second impeachment, which is, of course, had to do with the January 6th attack, there was no investigation at all. They impeached him about a week after the January 6th attack. But McCarthy there, again, not explaining his decision, but it's really about this, Dana. He didn't have the votes in order to open up an inquiry, and a lot of those vulnerable members didn't want to cast that vote.
We'll do the explaining for him. You will do the explaining for him based on your excellent reporting. He doesn't have the votes. That's why he didn't take the vote, because he didn't want to lose.